I'm here near the corner of Front and William Street at Voyagers Park on De Pere's east side. Today, we're getting some updates from the Park and Rec Department. Welcome to the Mayor's Corner. I'm Mayor James Boyd. In each episode of the Mayor's Corner, we plan to take you to a different part of the city as we discuss the latest happenings in our community. Plus, we'll take a behind-the-scenes look at various areas of government. Most of all, we want to show you all there is to celebrate about the city of De Pere. We're here near the corner of Front and William Streets in Voyager Park on De Pere's east side. Voyager Park serves as a major gathering place for the citizens in De Pere, whether it's to enjoy an event held at the park, to hop on the Fox River Trail, to use the inclusive playground, or to head down to the Riverwalk. There's something for everyone at this park. Today, we're chatting with Parks and Rec Director Marty Kosobucki. Thank you for joining us today, Marty.
Thanks for having me, Mayor.
Outstanding.
Picked a good day, by the way.
Thank you very much. So Marty, can you give us an overview of where you came from, your background, and your role with the Parks Department?
Ooh, a loaded question right out of the gate. I like
You're
it.
welcome.
So I've been in the field for about 30 years. Went to college at La Crosse, got my bachelor's and master's there in Parks and Rec Administration. So that's how I got started. Been now here at De Pere for about 17 years. So back when I started, you and I both had a little darker hair back then. Here, my role, directing parks, recreation, and forestry, goes a little bit past that. When I first started, it was involved building maintenance, but since then my role at Parks and Rec and Forestry has expanded quite a bit, especially with the pools coming on board. So now my role is really just Parks, Rec, and Forestry and our facilities like the community center, the boat launches, trails, things like that.
And we have a number of facilities, obviously.
Yeah, we do.
And you've just touched on some of them. Yeah. You do manage one of the larger departments in the city. Could you tell us about all the areas of the city your department touches through parks, recreation, forestry, everything? A little bit of everything.
Well, I tell you what, I think I'd probably have I'd have an easier time explaining quantum physics and all the stuff we do, but I'll give it a shot. So okay. we have here at City of De Pere, we're very blessed. We have a lot of stuff going on. We have over 400 acres of parks and green space ranging 27 different locations, over 20 different playgrounds. We've got 3 different boat launches. We have sledding hills. We have walking trails. We have our 2 pools, as I mentioned. We have our tennis courts. We have new pickleball courts that are coming online. We have all of our baseball, softball fields, our soccer fields. Southwest Park is part of our park inventory. Huge 90-acre park out there. It's basically a soccer complex with a glorious playground. That's just parks. So recreation is a whole nother world for us. Recreation, we have programs ranging from little tot programs, educational programs, to senior-related activities, to family events. We have beer gardens we'll probably talk about later. Our summer day camp program, which is a huge program coming this summer. If you look at our brochure, handy brochure here, it is filled, and I mean filled with leisure-based activities, programs that are designed to help people with their quality of life.
And this brochure they can find on the website.
They can find that on the website.
So
yeah.
I think some have been mailed out to the residents as well. Correct?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
So
yeah. So the recreation is a whole nother world of ours. Forestry is a whole nother world of ours. People are starting to becoming more tuned with forestry now that emerald ash borer is kind of really here, and people are taking notice of what's happening with our trees. But we have about 9,000 trees in our right-of-way. That's just in our right-of-way that we're responsible for. Can't even begin to understand the number of trees we have in our parks. Just Southwest Park and the preserve alone are probably 10, 20,000 trees.
And clearly trees coming down, I mean, that really kind of bothers you all. I mean, this is something you're proud of, the trees we have throughout the city.
Yeah, it does. Emerald ash borer, as people probably have been accustomed to now, it's something that we just can't do anything about. And we have two arborists and a city forester that would just as soon duct tape themselves to a tree and not bring it down than to have to bring it down. But there's nothing we can do when it comes to emerald ash borer. But we're trying to be as aggressive as we can. When they come down, we're doing everything we can to get them back up.
And I would say we're a little behind on trying to get these trees down, and it's not your fault. It's just there's so many of them. Correct?
Yeah, it's just the sheer the number of them at the pace that they are dying versus the resources that we have. It doesn't balance out. It
just doesn't work, does it? Okay, let's go back to pickleball. So,
yeah.
Was pickleball in your vocabulary 17 years ago when you started?
No, not even close.
No.
Not even close.
Literally, it's changing the landscape of our parks. I mean, we're pivoting from tennis courts, which we will still have, to pickleball courts. That's awesome. That's the way that you kind of react to the needs of the residents and stuff
we do.
that they like.
Yep, absolutely. It's not our job to tell residents what they want. It's our job to figure out what they want and then find a way to get there.
Great. So I would say it's safe to say you probably touch thousands of the Pere citizen lives over the course of the year.
I sure hope so.
With the parks and all the programs that we have throughout the Pere, the pool.
Well, there's probably about 1,000 people just alone on the playground over the course of the summer.
And the playground that was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Ballpark, hugely popular. So.
Yeah.
Now we're a rare city. We have a river that runs through, both the city itself and, obviously you have to cross to get to the west and the east, vice versa. Is any challenges with that, with the river, as far as you're concerned with the parks?
With us, no. We hear it. I'm sure like everyone else hears it. It takes us 20 minutes to get from my house to Southwest Park. I always have a fun time talking with people. If you think 20 minutes is a lot of travel time to get to where you're going, go downtown Chicago or downtown Atlanta for a visit, and you'll come back and really appreciate everything you have here, even though you might have to cross that river a time or two. So we don't really look at it as much of a challenge.
Great. Riverwalk, 10 years. How proud are you of that?
The Riverwalk has been a really a true asset for our city. It's been wonderful. It's probably done a little bit more than I was expecting. I knew it would be a venue people would just go out and enjoy, just the relaxation of the river. Never really figured it would take off, the way it has. We have the master gardeners now that have jumped on board and developed, a large stretch of that Riverwalk to just make it beautiful. I did not anticipate the sheer number of people coming for the sturgeon. Did not anticipate the number of people to come for the locks, for the bird watching. I just did not anticipate. I knew it would be popular. I just didn't know it would be as popular as it is.
I'm not sure 10 years ago sturgeon was even something we thought of. I mean, it may have.
It was there. Yeah, it was there. We knew about it, but the population of sturgeon was pretty small at that time. But just the other day, we had the big wave of sturgeon come in, and there were over 100 sturgeon that were in just at the one given time. And back when we started, why I remember this, I have no clue. But back when we started it, they were predicting that there was only a population of about 75 fish total that would come up here. Now we had 100 just in one day, so it's been fabulous.
Oh, that is just great. Well, spring is finally here, summer right around the corner. The Summer and Fall Parks and Rec Guide is out featuring classes, pool hours, and much more. We're lucky to have a robust recreation offerings and a beautiful community center right here in De Pere. What are some of the activities people can find this summer, and how can they go about signing up?
Well, there's a lot that's going on. All year long, there's always stuff going on. But during the summer, we'll have tennis lessons, we'll have yoga, we'll have summer day camp, which is a hugely popular program. We'll have taekwondo classes, we'll have swim lessons at our pools. And then there's just a whole host of like little workshops for young tots and preschool age programs that are offered at the community center. And probably the best way to look at all those programs is to find our brochure. It's online. You can register online if you have an active, we work through a program called ActiveNet, so you can register online. You can also call the community center, which is at 339-4097. Or you can just call there, or call there, at the number I mentioned, or just stop in. So there are a number of different ways you can do it.
So kids to seniors.
Oh yeah.
Pretty much.
We run the gamut. Something for everyone.
Besides various classes and programs the community center offers, the Parks and Rec team also hosts a few events throughout the year. Over the winter, the first lighting display was set up for the holidays here at Voyager Park. But the summer event, the famous beer gardens, is probably the biggest event that we see here. Could you give us some info on what we have to look forward to this summer for the beer gardens?
Yeah, well, if you've ever been to one of our beer gardens, which I know you have.
I have, yes.
We kind of feature the same model. So while we do call it a beer garden, it's really more of a family event. So it's not a beer drinking festival. If that's what you're looking for, then we're not your cup of tea. But if you're looking to come out on a nice evening during the week, enjoy some music, have your kids come out with you and enjoy the time out here in the beautiful park, enjoy the playground. We have food trucks that come in. We also have kids games and activities that come in. We've got yard games spread out all over the place. We have things from Connect Four to bag toss to Jenga, Cube. We've got all these yard games spread out all over the place. And then, as I said, the music. So it's just a good family event that happens to feature beer. So you can come out and eat. You can come out and have a nice cold beer. Let your kids run around, have a good time, and it's just a great night out. We are pet friendly, so we have a lot of our four-legged friends that come out and enjoy as well. So it's just a great venue.
And you've been trying hard over the last couple of years to showcase our parks. This one is one prime example. So this is one way that you've done that, and it's been very popular.
Yes, it has. We're real proud of it. We're also very proud of the fact that the proceeds from those events go into a park fund, where those proceeds go right back into our parks.
That's great.
So, and I think one of the most recent decision by our park board and council was to steer that money towards a new playground at Legion. So that'll be coming.
That's awesome. That is just incredible. Now, there are many parks and rec services in De Pere, like both Legion and VFW pools. How does the park department go about deciding which parks are improved, how they are maintained, what areas are new developments? How does all that work?
Great question. There's probably not a perfect answer, simply because in a perfect world, we create a plan, we stick to the plan. It doesn't always work that way. We do work with our city administrator as well as all of the other departments. We put together a 7-year plan. And what we do is we look at everything in our parks, things that are aged, things that are tired, things that are out of trend, things that are coming into trend. We look at all that stuff, and then we'll factor in obstacles, ADA issues, safety issues. We throw all that stuff into a blender, and then we come out with the 7-year plan. But then that 7-year plan can change on a dime sometimes. Someone walks in, it's a prime example, our Nelson Family Pavilion. We had that on our radar, and lo and behold, it probably wasn't going to happen right away.
Which really was just a replacement of the old bathroom.
Correct. So it wasn't going to happen right away, but then we happened to find a donor in the tune of about $500,000. Well, when you find that type of donor, it kind of kickstarts things, a little bit different than what you would in a regular 7-year plan. So things change all the time, but we do put a lot of time and energy into making sure that we have a long-range plan to keep our parks updated and safe. Safe is first priority, and then updated is our next.
Great. And then obviously I have some say in it with the budget we have going forward, but so too did the alderpersons and the full common council. We'll look at everyone's wishes and needs, and I think everyone's very proud of the park system we have. And we'll do whatever we can.
And actually, before it even gets to council, it goes through park board as well. True. So we do our best to try to get community input. We work with a lot of our stakeholders, so we'll sit down and talk with Brown County Ice Management, De Pere Girls Softball, De Pere Baseball. We'll talk with all those user groups to get their input. Again, more information that kind of gets thrown into the blender and comes out and looking like a 7-year plan.
And then the park board consists of alderpersons and community members. So
correct.
It's a blend committee, which really helps in the discussions and the dialogue. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Speaking of projects, what major projects are currently in the works for the Parks and Rec Department?
We got a few. I happen to mention Nelson Family Pavilion. So that's the big entertainment venue, if you will, that's going to be going here in Voyager. We're really proud of that. We have Wilson Park. While we're not developing Wilson Park, we're going through the process to figure out what to do with Wilson Park. So that's coming along.
Wilson Park, just quickly, is on the west side near St. Herbert College.
Correct. Yes, correct. We are looking at renovating, probably here starting the first part of June, we will be renovating the VFW tennis courts, very similar to Legion. So Legion used to be 3 tennis courts. We completely renovated it, so it's 2 tennis courts and 2 pickleball courts, as you had mentioned. So pickleball will be coming to the west side, so that's coming. And then well, it's not brand new, but we are opening our second year out at VFW, which almost feels new again. So we're looking forward to another newish season, if you will, out at our pools.
All right. Now, you mentioned the Nelson Pavilion. Any updates you can share on the Nelson Pavilion at this time? Or?
Yeah, so we're continuing with our fundraising. It's going well. So we have a committee that's plugging along. Probably the biggest and newest development that we have is that staff has gone out for proposals for technical design and bidding and construction oversight. So the park board will be looking at that actually this coming Thursday, May 19th. Hopefully approving or recommending the approval of a consultant, and then that will be sent to council. If that happens, we'll start looking at actually doing the technical design and bidding sometime this summer.
That's great. That's outstanding. Marty, thanks for all you do in leading the Parks and Rec Department and for continuing to take on projects that benefit the residents. Thanks again for joining us today.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. And now to a few city updates. The De Pere Health Department is working diligently to prevent the rise of COVID-19 in our community. A joint press release from De Pere and Oneida Nation Health Departments on May 16th listed the risk of COVID-19 in Brown County as medium, meaning there has been an increase in infection and hospitalizations. With an increase of COVID-19 infections in the community, the health department wants to remind you about the vaccine clinics. The more people in our community who are up to date on their vaccination status means more people are protected from severe health outcomes from the virus. Please check the health department webpage on the city website to see the latest dates and times for the vaccine clinics at the community center. Call the health department at 920-339-4054 with any questions you have. The city celebrated the Police and Public Works Departments the week of May 15th through May 21st, thanks to National Police Week and National Public Works Week. Proclamations recognizing both departments were issued at Common Council on May 17th. National Police Week stems from a 1962 proclamation from President John F. Kennedy and joint resolution of Congress. The members of the De Pere Police Department play an essential role in promoting the safety, security, and general well-being of all people in De Pere. The De Pere Public Works Department plays an integral role in our residents' everyday lives by maintaining and improving infrastructures, facilities, and must-have services. Health, safety, and comfort of the citizens depends greatly on the services provided by the Public Works team. Thank you to both our police and public works departments for their dedication to the city and the citizens of De Pere. That's it for this episode of the Mayor's Corner. We'll see you soon with another behind-the-scenes look at the city of De Pere and all it has to offer. I'm Mayor James Boyd.